The 641, also known as the F190, was a similar-looking car to its predecessor, the 640. Lots of development was focused on keeping the engine as efficient as possible, specifically in improving cooling and airflow, which also involved aerodynamic tweaks to the bodywork. The car also featured a larger fuel tank and revised transmission. Ferrari's biggest gain for 1990 was the signing of Alain Prost from McLaren. 1990 proved to be the height of the famed rivalry between Prost and Ayrton Senna, where both drivers once again fought for the World Championship, but this time, of course, driving for different teams. The team took 6 wins that year, 5 for Prost and 1 for his teammate Nigel Mansell, and would ultimately finish runner-up in both championships. The Ferrari F1 2000 is the legendary car that took Michael Schumacher to his 3rd driver's title, his first at Ferrari, and marked the beginning of the Italian manufacturer's historic era of supremacy in the early and mid-2000s. The car was a direct evolution of its predecessor, the F399, with improved aerodynamics and a lower center of gravity due to the wider V-angle of the new Ferrari Tipo 049 V10 engine. The F1 2000 finished 1st or 2nd in 13 of the 17 races that season, and never had a classified result outside the points. Based on the F2003 GA, the F2004 featured many changes throughout the car, including a new, more robust gearbox, lower centre of gravity, revised rear wing, and redesigned rear suspension to assist in prolonging the life of the tyres. The engine was new, with a focus on lifespan and reliability, as new rules for that season required an engine to last a full race weekend. At the same time, Ferrari wanted to make the engine more powerful than the 051 that it replaced. The results were astonishing, giving the drivers the tools to take home 15 wins in a single season. 13 of those were delivered by Michael Schumacher alone, allowing him to easily win the World Championship and leading Scuderia Ferrari to the 2004 Constructors' title. Ferrari made many changes to this car over its predecessor, the 248 F1. In order to increase aerodynamic efficiency, the wheelbase was increased, creating a longer nose. The rear end was made narrower, moulded around the transmission housing. Work was also put into the bodywork and front suspension to reduce drag. The F2007 had run multiple liveries over the course of the season due to advertising regulations, and also began using a deeper shade of red at the Monaco Grand Prix. Kimi Räikkönen took his first ever World Championship win in the F2007, and Scuderia Ferrari won the Constructors that season too. The 2010 season saw the removal of mid-race refueling from the regulations, which had dramatic effects on race strategy, tyre management and, of course, car design. Now loaded with around 105 kilos of fuel at the start of the race, significant redesigns were required in many areas of the Ferrari F10, particularly in regards to the braking system and the longer wheelbase required to fit the larger fuel tank. Ferrari achieved 5 wins throughout the 2010 season, all courtesy of Fernando Alonso, taking Ferrari to a final constructors' position of 3rd, behind McLaren Mercedes and Red Bull Renault. Perhaps the most famous Formula One racing team of them all, Scuderia Ferrari have been competing in the sport since the birth of the World Championship in 1950. As well as having participated in every World Championship race, they're also the most decorated, with more wins than any other team in the history of the sport. Founded by Enzo Ferrari in 1929, Ferrari originally supported Alfa Romeo, before later forging their own identity as the racing team and road car manufacturer we know today. Many of the world's most famous and recognizable drivers have competed and become champions with Ferrari, including Niki Lauda in the 1970s and Michael Schumacher in the 90s and early 2000s.